Welcome to Decades, hosted by Chris Rubio. Decades is a show made up of 5 generations of people brought together to discuss topics you wouldn't normally talk about with others. The goal of the show is to learn by having some good, possibly heated discussions, without losing the simple fact that it's okay to talk to different people with different opinions other than your own.
What's going on? My name is Chris Rubio, host of Decades. This is season 2, episode 15. Big shout out to everyone that's watching on X. You can watch it at Sub60Ed. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, NGBN.TV, and of course, Facebook. Remember, if you're on Facebook, for some reason, you got to tell it or allow it. I don't know what's going on, but you got to, when you make a comment, say who you are, because it'll just say Facebook user. And we want to know exactly who's commenting so we can give you a little shout out. Make sure you subscribe and share as well. Welcome to everyone. We've got a great group of panelists. I'm going to let them introduce themselves as we move along. We're just going to jump right into it. We're going to hit a hot topic, a very, very hot topic. All right, guys, here we go. Are female athletes underpaid, undervalued? Are female athletes underpaid, undervalued? We're going to start with Charles Schultz.
So I don't think they're underpaid, but I do think they're undervalued. And here's what I mean. I think that there's a lot of value to female athletes and their sports and what they can do, the skill and the way they play the game. Unfortunately, though, when it comes to the amount of money they're making, it has to be a business and you have to treat it as such. So until the sport makes more money, they won't make more money. And so for us, we need to show the value of who they are as athletes, build the story up like the NCAA tournament did this year for the women's game. They had some really cool storylines. A lot of people were tuning in. They were doing their job to make it exciting. And if we do that more often and people start going to the games, then I think that you'll start to see an increase in what they make. But unfortunately, right now, I do think they're undervalued. I don't think they're underpaid.
Okay, now you said we need to. Who is the we in this?
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's the women that want to support female athletes. I think there's actually a decent number of male athletes who go to games. They show them at games all the time. But until they're supported by other women in mass, then they're not going to fill up the stadiums. They're not going to have enough people there. And I also think here's the other part of this. I think that fathers with daughters should spend time going to these games. This is a great opportunity for you to show what a professional athlete looks like, what they could aspire to become. And I think it's on both parts. I think the women need to support the women. And then also, if you have a daughter, why not take them to that game? They don't have to go to a baseball game. Go to a professional softball game. Go to a College World Series game that the girls are playing in. That right there, those little gestures, if enough people do them, I think you'll start to see that turn for them.
I like that. I like that a lot. Bill Geiser, what is your thoughts on this, being a former college athlete?
They're not underpaid and they're not undervalued, in my opinion. There's 2 components to a professional athlete's income. There is their salary that they get paid by their team for playing the game. And then there's also an opportunity for them to make money on the side endorsing products and building their brand. As far as the first part of it is concerned, not enough people watch women's sports or attend the games to move the needle. And, what is Caitlin Clark is getting, less than $80,000 a year. That's less than a starting tech job out of college, to be honest with you. It's not much, but it's probably the best they can get for her, offer her, and still try to break even or maybe even make a buck. But she also signed, I was just going to say, I thought it was $27 million.
I thought it was 28.
Yeah. So this is where I think it's incumbent on women to be smart. And who was the gal? Angel, what's her name?
Angel Reese. Angel Reese from LSU.
Listen, I thought what they did the last 2 seasons with her and Caitlin was nothing short of genius in terms of building up drama, competition. They both jumped to the WNBA. This is Bird Magic Part 2.
Exactly.
But that's how they that's how they're going to go build this. They're going to build their brands, and in the process, they're going to make more money. And along the way, you'll start to see people spend more time watching games, attending games, and their salaries will go up. But that's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, David Bazinet says not underpaid or undervalued. They are paid for the product they provide to the public. Until people start watching, they get paid a share of what they make, their owners and TV sales. Yeah, and I think like the WNBA has been around almost 30 years, and they've never turned a profit. They've been subsidized by the NBA the entire time. That's just not a good business model. And I mean, yeah, you want them to get paid equally, but if no one's watching, and I admit I watched a couple games at the Judges, the NCAA tournament with Caitlin Clark, and she's good. But it's not is the same product as a college male basketball game. I mean, they're technically.
So I got a question about this. So, for a long time, we've heard men get paid more than women in sports, right? And I think it's probably true. Throwing a hypothetical out there. What about trans women? Are they going to get paid more than women?
They shouldn't be in women's sports.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in women's sports.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, you're taking my job. I'm going to get to there.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, but
I couldn't resist.
No, perfect. But it's one of those, and I don't understand that there's ways to make the game better because, okay, the whole argument is, it's not as fast. They're not dunking and all that. Okay, then why can't they lower the hoop to 9 feet? Okay, then they're like, well, that's not basketball. Well, you already shrunk the ball. So what's the difference? You've already brought in the 3-point line. What's the difference? I mean, all these are hoops. Why not just lower it? Sports Talk with Dad. Tim, what do you got?
So I think in certain sports, they're drawing. I mean, look what the volleyball team did in Nebraska. They're going to be playing a volleyball game in Camp Randall Stadium in Wisconsin coming up, and they're going to draw 40, 50,000 people to that. So I think they're getting their value. But as far as money goes, it's, in tennis, they get the exact same money at some of the major tournaments. It's just as good a product. As a matter of fact, in some cases in tennis, it's a better product because you still see serve and volley. You don't see that on the men's side at all anymore. And it became boring and allowed pickleball to rise. But they're getting the value. They're not getting the views because the games aren't as compelling. Just even Caitlin Clark versus Angela Reese, it's a different style of game than you see on the men's side.
Yeah, 100%. I tell my kids all the time when we're learning basketball, I go, if you want to learn real basketball, watch women's college basketball. They pass the ball, they dribble. They're not focused on just their overall athleticism. But even the judge and I were watching, and it was good, but when they're bad, they're bad. Like their misses were bad. It was just not there. Judge, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I'd have to agree with Charles. I do think that they're undervalued. I don't think they're underpaid, given that we're in a monolithic capitalist system here. Obviously, you're only going to get paid if people are watching you on TV because that's where the big money's at. I don't know how you turn that around, but I do think they're undervalued. I think that's really started to turn around in this last year with the whole Caitlin Clark thing. I don't know if that will carry over to the WNBA. However, I think professional basketball is boring, whether it's men or women, regardless. So,
I'm shocked to hear a 5'3" white guy say that. Guru, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with Bill, and I want to add that I have girls at work who watch sports. They watch Lakers, they watch Dodgers, they watch Cowboys. They don't watch women's sports, and if they don't do it, then you know why, because it's not exciting. They want to watch men's sports, not women's sports. And actually, women's soccer team got a new deal with U.S. Soccer Federation where they get paid the same money as men, although they don't bring as much revenue. I think it's not fair to the men's team, if you ask me.
Okay. David Bazinet says he enjoys college softball. Charles, that's right up your alley. And college softball is phenomenal. And anyone that thinks, that's not real a sport, I dare you as an athlete to go try to hit a college softball pitcher. Charles, what is it like? How it's not that far, the distance from pitching the home plate.
feet.
Yeah, 46 feet. And that ball is flying. And I mean, they can do the risers, the droppers, and all that stuff. Sub 60 Ed, you're on TV for some reason. Do you want to chime in?
Yeah, I do. Actually, everybody stole. I have to chime in because it annoys you more than anything.
I know.
No, I agree with Charles. and then I kind of piggyback off of what Bill said. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. I guess my question to everybody would be, does that make a difference? Does Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, will that have a similar impact, not to the same extent, to women's basketball like it did to men's basketball? Because that late 70s, early 80s, NBA was struggling. And so they needed that kind of clash, and we have that clash coming out today in the NBA. Do we see
drama is what makes sports drama, and that's what Angel and Caitlin bring to the WNBA.
Right?
Real personal drama. Remember, like she's waving the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
all that. Everyone's going to remember that, and it's fantastic for viewership. So, bully for them, man. Smart. They
right.
I hope they colluded before. They're geniuses if they did.
Yeah, they took a page of the WWF handbook of just.
Yeah, I'm going to also say what SG Trilogy said. Women's basketball is more fundamentally sound than men's basketball.
100%.
It's from a purist standpoint, it's sometimes more enjoyable to watch, to see that play out.
Okay, but so we're talking raw women's sports, but just today.
Where is it? It's
Well, just yesterday or today, there was a West Virginia middle school where 5 girls were doing the cross track and field championship, and a little boy decided he was a girl, and they had 5 girls go with their shot puts, walk in with the ring, and then walk out. They protested, said, "We're not doing this," and they got banned from future competitions. The 5 that protested. So Charles Schultz, you have an eye roll on that. We love college women's sports. We love women's sports, but then we're saying, okay, but if someone else can play, you're going to eliminate women's sports. And then with the whole new Title IX the way it's being rewritten, you're going to abolish women's sports in literally 5 years.
Yeah, I don't understand why we keep trying to intermix this, act like they're the same. Give trans people their own division, their own place, and let them go compete. I'm all for whatever lifestyle you choose for yourself. But don't tell me that my daughter has to play a guy because he today feels like a girl. And 5 years from now, he maybe changes his mind and goes, "Nah, I'm actually a dude, but I beat the shit out of all those girls 5 years ago. I was pretty sweet." And then I'm like, okay, so to what end? Right? Where does this stop? At what point does somebody have to get killed on a softball field because some guy gets in the box and hits a 90-mile-an-hour ball back up the box at 46 feet? We just talked about how close it is, right? And now somebody dies because the third baseman's charging because it's a bunt situation and the ball gets ripped down the line, and now we've got a dead kid. Or in a wrestling match.
Yeah, they just had that girl in high school volleyball where a guy spiked it on her, and she still has concussions. She was out for X amount of time, and that's volleyball. That's a soft ball, not a softball, but a softer ball. Right. So where is the line? Where is the line on this?
I like what
Judge?
the Olympic Committee did.
Yet.
Is Judge frozen? Can he hear me?
I just hate to agree with everybody, but I kind of have to.
Yeah, we got Judge to agree on one. Holy hell.
I was looking for a way out, but come up with one.
Good. Okay, good. It's only been, 52 episodes. We finally got you to agree on one thing. Bill, is there any, Title IX is very interesting. SG children, men have a competitive advantage. How does it work in the locker for trans athletes? Yeah, there was just a Riley Gaines interview. She was on a podcast, and she was saying, Bill, you could probably answer this. I guess when you do a warm-up as a swimmer, you have to put on one suit, and then their competing suit is just literally like a second skin. And so she's doing all this, doing all that. And I knew someone that was in the locker room with the Leah Thomas or whatever his name is. And they said it was just odd because he was a dude in the locker room. And yeah, the whole locker room issue, that's just not a good situation. Bill?
I totally agree. I mean, I can't think of a single reason why a biological male would ever be allowed to compete against women. It's just stupid, ludicrous. I would never support it. And those young women in West Virginia who actually they were shot putters.
Yeah.
Think of this, a male shot putter. I mean, none of us probably have ever thrown the shot before, but because we're guys, we could do it. Okay. And they just walked into the circle, walked out without ever throwing the shot. And now they're suspended. And you know what? I think if I read this, the Attorney General of West Virginia has filed a lawsuit against that school administration, and good for them. I hope they bury those clowns. That's bullshit.
I agree. Sports Talk with Dad. What are your thoughts on this?
Look, I've done several last words on this. I'm the father of a daughter. If I ever saw a guy in the locker room with her, I'd lose my mind. Women fought too hard to get to Title IX and had the ability to compete on an even playing field. Guys are different. They're bigger, they're stronger. It's not a matter of anything else. It's just biology. And this virtue signaling from the left on this, when did we lose the ability to say, no, this can't happen? The Olympic Committee, I respect. They at least came out in track and field and said, the only people, if you're trans, you have to have started transitioning before the age of 12, and you have to be fully transitioned to compete. And isn't it interesting? We see no athletes from girls transitioning to boys competing. It's all one way, and it's for whatever reason, guys like Bill Thomas who get their jollies over beating people that are smaller and not as strong as they are.
Well, I think there was actually one female boxer that trans over to a man, and she just got walloped. She's a boxer, and she just got destroyed. I mean, she was obviously like a lightweight or welterweight or something like that. Gru, we'll end on you, and then we'll go to commercial, Sub 60.
I agree with both Bill and the last, guy who was, just explaining his opinion. I think male and female sports should be different regardless of males thinking they're females, okay? Well, they have bigger bodies, bigger lungs. They should not compete with girls, period. End of story, no discussions, etc.
Fantastic. And let's just go back to the moment where the judge agreed with all of us. What a great moment in time. On that note, Sub 60, take us to commercial. Well, I'm still in a happy mood.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
1 week after launching our exclusive sneak peek, NGBN TV was live for 3 days of continuous coverage from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
NGBN TV is live from Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
The one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s was the conversation for the big game about men's mental health. And the world of athletes, celebrities, and influencers were on notice. But we're just getting started with new partnerships announced like the Team Nike 3-on-3 Championship and new platforms available to download the NGBN TV app. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today from your favorite streaming device or check us out at ngbn.tv. This is NGBN TV.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 15 of Decades. We got a phenomenal panel. Next question, guys. What's the greatest TV sitcom of all time? What is the greatest TV sitcom of all time? And everyone that's back home on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, make sure you comment as well. If you're on Facebook, make sure you write your name. Make sure you subscribe, press like, press share, all that good stuff. Gru, I'm going to start with you. Greatest TV sitcom of all time?
I would say Seinfeld. Show about nothing, but that's the best show, best sitcom I ever watched over my 30 years in the country.
That's a good one. Here's the funny thing. Have you ever noticed that people either White Shadow, Jesus, SG Trilogy coming out of the woodworks with that baby salami? What a great show that was. Holy hell, I was raised on that one. I'm sorry. SG Trilogy just dropped the ball.
That was a great show. Not a sitcom, though, but a great show. God, I see him.
Sub 60.
Coach Ken Howard.
Go on the computer and find out what was his name?
Ken
He
Howard?
was a great one. White Shadow. What a great show. Holy hell. Sorry, Gru. Thorpe and Coolidge. Oh, yeah, Coolidge. He has some great Jerry curl. What's it called? My wife hates Seinfeld. I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't understand how you can dislike that show. Okay, All in the Family, great show, very, very funny. Ken Howard, that was it. Ken Howard played the coach. Good. Judge, favorite TV show?
Without a doubt, MASH. There was no comparison.
MASH?
Yes.
That's such an old man answer. Did you really say MASH?
That was it. Yeah, well, I guess that was kind of a sitcom.
It was.
It was 100% a sitcom. It wasn't good. But also, the one dude was ahead of his time. Who was the guy that was always trying to dress like a woman to get out of there?
Jamie Foxx. That was Klinger.
Klinger, yeah. He was way ahead of his time. Holy hell. He would have been out in two. Oh, he'd probably been a colonel at this point. Dorado says, Big Bang Theory. I know people that like that too. I can't really get into it.
Is that even allowed? Big Bang Theory? Is that old enough to be best sitcom of all time?
Well, yeah.
I don't know if that's allowed.
You can't. Brandon Calkins can have any opinion he wants, Sub 60.
All right, I guess.
Theory, let him have Big Bang Theory.
Roger that, boss.
Bazinet, you're dating yourself on that one. Charles Schultz, honorable mention Chips. Oh, that was a damn good show. Eric Estrada.
For me, I got to look back to when I was younger because I don't watch a whole lot of today's sitcoms and past probably 2004, but I always like Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
that's where I was coming from. I was going to say Cheers or MASH.
Sub 60, we're not talking to you right now.
I know.
We will let you know when we want you to talk.
No, come on. You know that's not how it works here.
The best part about Cheers was it was a collaborative. I mean, Norm would walk in, Norm, and he would steal the show for like 2 lines. What are you up to, Norm? Ideal weight if I was 8'4". So good. Tim, what's your favorite show? Columbo? No.
No. Yeah, I was going through a few of them. Three's Company, Happy Days. My favorite one of all time is the Dick Van Dyke Show. And yes, I'm dating myself, but
yeah, you are.
It was a great show.
Judge?
What?
Is that a good show?
Dick Van Dyke, that's before my time. I don't know.
Nice try, Judge. Chalk and rocks were before your time, barely. Hieroglyphics, maybe. You'd have to walk this way to watch the hieroglyphics go fast. Bill Geiser.
Seinfeld.
Wow. Johnny Carson does count. Yes, 100%. Seinfeld as well. Who was your favorite character?
Wow. That's a really good question. I liked George and George's parents.
Yeah. R.I.P. He just died, that guy.
Yeah.
Jerry Stiller.
Jerry Stiller.
What was Festivus for the rest of us or whatever?
Yes.
I saw George Costanza when I was at UCLA. We were walking to get some frozen yogurt. He was in the arcade playing Pac-Man. It was the most damnedest thing. I'm like, why is Costanza in here playing Pac-Man? It was like a Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon. It was weird. Okay. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've heard that's a good show. I've never watched it.
It's fantastic.
Jimmy likes Seinfeld. That's a good one. Does everyone know Seinfeld? Everyone knows. Judge, you know what Seinfeld is?
Yes. He never
Okay.
asked.
Let's go. Before I reveal mine, what's everyone's favorite episode? Sub 60 didn't call you in.
I know you didn't. That's why I came in.
What's your favorite episode of Seinfeld? Favorite episode of Seinfeld? Bill Geiser.
I would say probably the Festivus when that first came out.
Yeah.
Also the Soup Nazi.
The Soup Nazi is very good. Charles Schultz.
Mine. I was going to say mine has to be the Soup Nazi one. I didn't watch a lot of Seinfeld, so it has to be one of the
key ones
episodes for me to even know about it. So that one I knew about, and that one I've seen, and that one was hilarious.
Okay, Gru.
I would say the Soup Nazi.
Oh my God. Okay, Judge.
Where George is caught naked and he's complaining because it's cold.
Shrinkage. That's a damn good one. Jimmy likes when Jimmy refers to himself in the third person. Very funny. Tim?
Yeah. I don't know if I can say my favorite episode of Seinfeld, but who's the tall guy on there?
Kramer.
Kramer.
And Kramer walks in and just goes, "I'm out." You know that episode.
I was just going to say that one. That's master of your domain. Master of your domain. Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
dudes not let's just say pleasure themselves, and within 40 seconds, Kramer leaves, comes back, and he goes,
yes.
That's how I got my outro for the Rubio method on every commercial. I'm out. Because that scene is hilarious. Sub 60, since you're on here, go ahead.
No, I was just agreed with you. That was going to be mine. That's I'm out. That and or 1A is the Festivus one. I got a lot of problems with you people.
That was very, very good. All right, let's go to a commercial. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about peaceful protests. Let it rain, Sub 60. I'm out.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
Hawaiian Airlines launches complimentary Starlink high-speed Wi-Fi. Passenger aboard select Hawaiian Airlines flight can now enjoy free high-speed Wi-Fi, even on long-haul journeys across the Pacific, thanks to the airline's pioneering satellite internet technology provided by SpaceX's Starlink. The cutting-edge technology is already available on 6 Airbus A321s, and the first flight to offer the service flew between Honolulu and Long Beach, California on February 9th to rave reviews. The terminal will seamlessly connect from satellite to satellite as planes cross the Pacific, providing an uninterrupted internet experience for all passengers. It really feels like experience that should not be available when you get on commercial airline flight, SpaceX's Gibbs said. This tip for NGBN TV network is brought to you by Alex on Tech.
Come back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Thank you to everyone watching on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Make sure you subscribe, share, press the heart button, the thumbs up button, whatever. Okay. Guy's saying, let's go, fellas. My Canadian, what's going on? All right. As you guys know, all hell's breaking loose on Ivy League campuses all over the country, and toddlers are acting like toddlers. Where is the line for which peaceful protests cross over to non-peaceful? I'll just open the door on this one because it's all over the place. There's tons of facts and things. Gru's coming in hot already. He's got a highlighter in his hand or something. Go ahead, Gru.
Well, I think when people are threatened and harassed and property damage happens, then the protest stops being peaceful. It becomes a nuisance and it has to be stopped, and people would need to be kicked out and basically dispersed.
Okay. Judge, where is the legal line on this? And I'm going to get to you in a second, Bill. The legal line, like at UCLA, my alma mater, which I don't know what the hell they're doing, they're literally setting up barricades where if you're a Jew, you can't go into a certain area. And they're literally stopping, and they were just on a phone call. I heard it, where this mom's calling and says, hey, my son pays his tuition, X amount of money, and they're not allowing him to go to class. And they say, well, even though the secretary's like, well, can he go through another entrance? That's not the point. And that entrance is blocked as well. What's the legal limit on this, being that you are a judge here?
The legal limit against who? Colleges?
Let's go. The people that are blocking the area where he can't get in, or this person can't get in, the school can, like, say if mom gets too happy, can she get these people's names and sue them? What about the school? Because the school has got officers literally standing right there. And can you imagine the uproar if this was, we're not letting the blacks in. Nope, blacks can't come in. The NBA season would shut down. BLM would be out in the streets. All hell would be breaking loose. But you're going against these Jews, and it's like, oh, you can't get in. So what's the legal limit there?
Oh, for a couple hundred years where the blacks couldn't get in. So
well, we're going back there. I got it. Okay, but so do you make it right or what?
It's because there's so many competing interests. You got a competing interest of free speech. I was in college in the early 70s. Sometimes people that aren't in power don't have any way to influence anything except through might be viewed as unlawful means. I mean, sit-ins were a big thing. They're still, I guess the question becomes when that becomes a public safety risk more than anything else. And that's a case-by-case thing. I think there was one where they just arrested like 50 students and had to release them immediately because there was no probable cause to arrest them. So it's a fine line to walk between free speech. You have a constitutional right to have peaceable assembly and protest. I think it just has to be done on an individual basis. property destruction isn't taking place or people aren't being threatened, I think it should be legal.
Okay, but that didn't answer my question. What's the legal line for, like, you can't, Jews, you can't come in. Sub 60, put that SG Trilogy one up there. That was a good one. I didn't want to lose that one. Peaceful protests should be allowed as long as they remain civil. Yeah, we are in a society in which contracting opinions are not respected equally. Yeah, but so I still want to know, I'm a Jew, I can't go in to my campus. Well, that's not right.
That's breaking the law. That's an infringement of their rights.
It might be a public
They
safety.
should be arrested. Those people should be arrested, thrown in jail.
Concern.
And you know what? It's also a great demonstration of the two levels of justice we have in this country. If you go to the blue states, they're letting these knuckleheads off. But in the red states, they're being arrested.
Yes.
Why is that? For doing the same damn thing. Why is that? It's real clear. Look, I believe in peaceful protest. Judge is right. We have a constitutional right to express ourselves, to assemble, and so on. It doesn't matter. You can be loud, you can be bold. That's okay. But when you destroy property, when you incite violence, and when you infringe on others' rights, those are crimes, period. No exception to it. Those are crimes. The problem is we have prosecutors who apply the laws in some areas and prosecutors who don't, and that's got to be fixed because it's tearing us apart.
Yeah, when exercise of my rights impedes your rights, that's the line. That's a pretty good line right there. I mean, I still don't understand how you can legally tell an ethnicity or religion you can't come in.
Particularly when they pay their tuition.
I just don't understand who. It's not like this is some hobo off the street that just wants to go to class. These are people that have paid tuition. I just don't get how people say, "Well, yeah, that's fine." What are you talking about? Like, what am I missing here? Tim, am I missing something here?
No. There are times. I mean, Jews are being attacked. We're turning almost into an anti-Semitic country. There are times I feel like we're in 1930s Germany again, when a Jew can't walk into a building where he paid a tuition and he has every right to be there, and yet there's a terrorist group blocking their entrance. We're backing them over the Jewish people. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think the line is pretty clear, but it's being trampled on.
Yeah, I would agree. And like Bill's comment, yeah, you see like Texas, Georgia, Florida, these protests are going up and they are getting squashed within like literally seconds. I mean, they are just literally picking them up and goodbye, get out of the way. Because it's just, what are you going to do? Like, you can't just.
The same thing with the guys who were blocking the highways a couple of weeks ago. They did it in Tampa. It was cleared up in 15 minutes.
Right.
I don't even think it took that long. I think it was 10. And it's one of those things where I just don't understand how, like at Columbia, and hell, I literally was accepted to Columbia. I almost went there. That was my second choice. And now they're letting them break into the office. It was at Hamilton Hall, and they're just letting them set up camp. And then they had their leader of the rebel, whatever it was. She gets up today and she's like, "We need food to be delivered to us." And the reporter actually fired back and said, basically, you can go get food as a student. She goes, "We have rights as a student to eat." Good, go to the dining hall. That's where the food is. No one said as a student you have to have food delivered to you, honey. That's not the rule. You can just swipe a little card, do your little whatever it's called, your lanyard, and you can go get all your Captain Crunch you want. And it's just so bizarre to me. Sub 60, you're on TV again, so you must want something.
I do. We got to go back to this comment about Columbia and you being that your second choice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know that Columbia is spelled with a C and not a K, right?
Yeah, I know Columbia, not the cocaine Columbia.
Right, exactly. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were talking about the same thing. That was kind of surprising. Like, you went to UCLA and you could have gone to Columbia. While you engaged me, I'll just throw in my 2 cents. No, I agree with everybody else. Peaceful protest is allowed once you start impeding, as Ian said so eloquently, impeding on somebody else's rights. That's where you have to draw the line. You can't damage, cause destruction. That's drawing the line. Anyway, that's why I had to come out when you made your Columbia comment. That was just
And this lady that's leading this whole Columbia thing, she got up and she was doing the speech about how she has to have food delivered to her. She's, pro-Palestine, and behind her, she's got the dude with like one of those scarf things, and he's got a half shirt on. That dude would last 5 seconds in Palestine, maybe, number one. And number two, this tells you all you need to know. Her name is Joanna King Slutsky, rough call with the name there. She's a paid instructor at the school, a PhD candidate. She's studying, this is, quote, theories of the imagination and poetry as interpreted through a Marxian lens.
Ooh.
Well, why is that even offered? Number one, what job are you going to get after that? Number two, and not to go off on a tangent, why should I have to pay her student loans? That makes zero sense to me. That makes zero sense. Charles Schultz, have I asked you, or have I talked to you yet?
No, I'm kind of in line with everybody else. I think that the hard part is we want to encourage these types of protests because I think in a lot of cases they're needed to draw attention to a cause. However, once it is a public danger, it impedes on other people's rights, it causes damage to property or something that isn't in the scope of what they're trying to accomplish, or people are at risk and there's threats, then we're crossing lines. The hard part in today, we're so polarized by the side that we're on that it's very quick to violence. As soon as somebody's protesting one side and somebody comes up and starts screaming about the other side, it doesn't mix, and then somebody throws something and then violence breaks out. Maybe the focus needs to be keeping people somewhat more apart and letting people speak their mind. And then I do think that we need to enforce the laws when they get broken quickly, to send the message saying, look, protest all you want, but once the line is crossed, this is the repercussion. Because we've gotten away with so many different things in this recent generation. Is there's no punishments, everybody gets a trophy, life is good, you're fine, you're great at everything. And then now we just keep pushing that boundary to see when is somebody going to step up and push back.
Wait until the Democratic National
in Florida, we don't put up with any of that. Yeah, 100%. Guru, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I've seen like one of those pictures of protesters, like one of the colleges, and all tents were same color, same green color, so which means someone is paying for it, and it's being organized, not just like, some students just want to do a protest, okay? So it's being paid for and organized and supported by somebody, some big money.
Any student on a student visa involved in these illegal activities automatically deported? Yeah, 100%. Well, at University of Florida, they had a protest and they arrested 88 people, and I think it was 57 were not students. Correct. Like that, you're gone, okay? And if you're a student visa, you're gone. I mean, it's one of those things, and I'm all for with the judge. Like, if you want to have a sit-in peaceful protest, kumbaya, yeah, that's great. But once you start impeding my rights, why are your rights more important than my rights? That's what I don't get. Tim?
Yes. Well, and maybe I'm hypersensitive because I grew up in Wisconsin, and I remember the Sterling Hall bombing. Everybody was protesting anti-Vietnam, granted, but at some point, somebody's going to take it to the next level, and somebody's going to get killed, just like they were in the Sterling Hall incident. And we can't allow that. We've got to stop it before it gets to that point.
Yeah, to me, it's almost to the point where I always say this. I want to go, Craig Hannum says, correct, that is federal law. I want to go back, I always say this, I want to go back to the parents. I want to see who these kids' parents are and what's going on, because if that was my kid and he was protesting, I would say, okay, number one, what are you protesting? And if he couldn't give me a full answer, like there's exactly what I'm protesting, and I was able to argue with him and he couldn't come up with a good answer, and say, you're an idiot, get out, stop going to do that, okay? Because someone's paying for your tuition, okay? You have to know what you're protesting. If you're too dumb to know what you're protesting, you can't make it a good verbal argument. We've got a problem, number one. And to me, it looks like all these kids are they're the toddlers that they were allowed to hit their mom or dad or throw things on the ground, and we'll just deal with him later. Well, it's later now, and now we're seeing the repercussions of it. Bill, go ahead.
The tuition at Columbia is $90,000, and they're complaining about anti-capitalism. Put that together. Those dumb shits.
Yes.
I love it.
It's stupid.
All right, we've exhausted this one. We've done a great job. I think the judge agreed with me on this one as well. I'm not too sure, but I think he did.
I never agree with you.
Judge, you already did.
That's it. We're over.
Hashtag never forget.
Honeymoon's
60, take us to a commercial.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more. Streaming TV for men, created by men.
But why?
Why are we a network that inspires,
Educates, entertains, celebrates, and supports
men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, simply to save men's lives.
There is an epidemic in our community,
and it's taking men from us.
I'm talking about mental health and suicide.
But we have an answer, and it's streaming, live shows, sports, concerts, and more.
in a real way for men to lock shields.
We can't wait to launch this TV network for you and with you.
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 Join our movement at ngbn.tv, coming January 2024.
Back to decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Come on. Hey, that's a great looking shield you got there. Is it locked?
Sub 60.
There you go, man. Hey, you know what? I was just trying to be as smooth as AC in that, and there's just, I learned a hard lesson that.
That was a swing and a miss. If you were trying to be a
yes, no, that was a big swing and a miss, and I'm out and probably going back to the -A liners.
Next question for the panel: is it okay to quit? Is it okay to quit? We'll start with Sports Talk with Dad.
Give me a little context. It's a contest. Quit what?
Let's do sports, life, marriage. You choose.
If you're in a sport and you signed up to play, no, you're going to work and you're going to get through the entire season. If you choose not to play the next year, that's fine. If you're in a marriage, you got to try to work it out. Divorce is too easy now. And I'm speaking as somebody who is divorced, but no, you shouldn't. We've got to start trying harder and hanging in there because things will get better usually. You make a commitment, you live up to it.
Okay, I like that. Judge, since your favorite movie is Rudy, I'm going to assuming you're going to say no.
Well, I agree. I think there's a lot of context to it. As a parent, if your kid signs up for something, then he or she has to follow through with that for that season. I agree completely. If they don't want to do it the next year, that's fine, but they need to finish that out. As to other contexts, marriage, life, whatever, life's short. You should be happy. I think my parents' ages and before that went through life unhappy just because they didn't want to quit. They needed to stay in a marriage. Life's too short for that. I think there's certain times when quitting is the best thing to do for everything.
Okay. Bill Geiser.
Well, I look at this kind of on a broad basis. And, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, sports, whatever, I think it's a hard decision. You have to decide if this challenge you've encountered is what I'd call a dip or if it's a dead end. If it's a dip, you plow through it. You persevere, you're persistence, grit, you just work through it. If it's a dead end, you don't sit there and beat your brains out. You got to pivot. You got to do something else. In business, it's referred often as sunk costs. There's a thing called the sunk cost fallacy, which is when decisions are made based on your previous investment of time and money. You can't walk away from it. That's stupid because you end up throwing good money after bad. Ultimately, it boils down to that same fundamental decision. Is this something I can kind of work my way through, or is it a dead end? If it's a dead end, pull the plug and move on.
So it's got to be. It's. There's no uniform answers from what I'm getting. Gru, what's your thought?
I say generally it's not okay to quit, whether it's sports, life, or marriage. The only time when I think it is okay to quit if you're on a toxic friendship or relationship, and you cannot fix it any other way.
Okay, I like that. Sub 60, I didn't call you.
No, you didn't. Go to Charles. I'll go after him.
Thanks for telling me how to do my job, Sub 60.
Oh, you're welcome. Somebody needs to.
Charles, let me go to you since Sub 60 allowed it this time.
Yes.
I agree. It's multi-layered here. But I ultimately think that it is okay to quit, because too often I think we get taught to stick it out, and it's the wrong path. And I think you have to take some time to think deep about what it is you're quitting, why you're quitting, and what you're going to next. The biggest problem I have with quitting isn't that you quit. It's that you quit without any direction or knowing of what you're going to do in the next step. Because for me, I technically think that retirement is quitting, but nobody gets mad when somebody retires. That's a new phase. You quit that job and you're going somewhere else. In the great scheme of things, it's a quit. Right? Nobody gets mad when an athlete retires, but if a high school athlete quits, they get ragged on. Right? Why isn't it just an early retirement for that kid?
Because they haven't worked.
Oh, they haven't worked?
Well, they worked a little bit. You can retire. You can't.
How much is enough work?
At 17, but hell, that's like retiring after the first day on the job as a janitor. Like, yeah, you worked. Okay, did you work long enough to retire? I mean,
and again, I think that's where the layers come in, because if you just take a job and you quit on day one, then you're probably setting yourself up to become somebody who constantly quits and jumps.
Correct.
What I don't like is the idea that quitting is completely bad. There are times, like Bill said, quitting is the right choice, right? It's not that it's a no, but I think that there's a lot more times in people's lives where, had they looked at quitting as an option, they might find the door that they're really looking for. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in this place where we're like, I just can't quit. I got to keep going. I promised myself to do these things. And the right answer is actually to stop and pivot and do something different, which technically would be quitting the thing that you're on and finding a new direction. Now, as a kid, I want my kids to finish
pivoting or different things. Quitting, resting, recalibration, and pivoting are different things. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Sub 60, since you're here, I might as well talk to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's good. You like talking to me. Anyway, no, actually, Bill and Charles kind of really hit the points. I think if it's a dead end coming at you, you need to reassess. And if quitting whatever you're doing is leading to a dead end, that makes sense. But as Charles said, just don't quit without direction. Quit with thought and transition, or I'll use Ian's word, pivot to the next piece. What I would also like to say, though, is I'd like to jump on what Alex said about the toxic friendships or relationships. Somehow I keep staying in this one, and I don't know how to get out of it with you.
Well, because I call it pruning the tree.
No, I'm in a toxic relationship with you, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it.
I can explain it to you very quickly. Because the way when you get out of a toxic relationship, you got to prune the tree.
Yeah.
You can only hit the bottom brushes. You can't hit the top.
That's my problem. So I need to get somebody tall to get the top. Gotcha. Okay. Roger that.
Okay. Now I'm gonna do a sub, not sub 60, but a sub question to this. What was the last thing that you quit, and was it a good move? Charles Schultz.
I mean, I quit this summer. I sold my business and moved my family to Worcester. And at this particular moment, I'd like to think that was a good choice.
I like that. Judge?
Well, Charles said retirement's quitting, so I guess that was my last one.
At a man. Good quit right there. Nothing better.
You're the worst quitter of all time. You work more now that you're retired. You're like a substitute judge that works 9 days a week. You're the worst.
Yeah, but I get paid by the hour now.
Good God. Gru?
Well, my last big quit was quitting Ukraine in 1994 and not looking back.
Okay. Bill Geiser?
Probably the last thing was quitting a full-time corporate career and going into consulting.
Okay, I like that. Sports Talk with Dad.
Last thing I quit was painkillers 20 years ago and 3 months.
Wow. So no Advil?
What's that?
No Advil?
I'll take ibuprofen, I'll take a leave, but nothing stronger than that. The other stuff is bad news.
Yeah. I don't like whatever the big one is. I've done that one. It makes me loopy. I'm out for that one.
Long story. It's up for another time.
Yeah, no problem. Sub 60?
Probably my last job to come to the new job I've been in for 2 years. So it appears to be a very good choice and good directional change.
Did that other job know you left yet?
Yes, they were sad that I left, as most companies are.
Who told you
that?
Who told you they were sad?
The little guys that were talking in my head said they were sad.
You don't need to see little.
Yes, I do.
All right. Do we have time for a commercial sub 60, or you want me to just keep rolling?
Keep rolling because we got to roll. Because we got about 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to roll it.
Best action movie of all time. Bill Geiser.
Terminator.
Oh, that's a damn good movie. Way ahead of its time. Charles Schultz.
Oh, of all time. There's just too many good ones. Like, for me, I look at it with, like, do I want to be, like, just entertained for, like, 90 minutes? I'm going to look at, like, Shoot It Up or Crank, or do I want to have, like, a movie that has a little depth to it? And I like Jet Li Fearless. I guess we'll go with that one.
What? What movie?
Jet Li Fearless. Is
Jet Li a name, or is that the title?
Fearless is the title. He's in it.
And Jet Li is
in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Sub 60.
Yeah, it's a Kung Fu movie.
Okay.
Like
Judge?
Well, after our early subject, I wanted to change it to the Chicago 7. I'm not sure that's technically an action movie, but everybody needs to watch that, everybody here especially. But other than that, I'd have to go with Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Judge, I would take that as well, but to me, it's also a Christmas movie, so I don't know if I should. Gru?
I would say Terminator and the Rambo series.
What did you say?
Rambo.
Oh, Rambo. Yeah. Okay. That's not bad. You got a little excited. Your accent thickened up on that one, so I can tell you're passionate about it. Sports talk.
Number one, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but the best action movie, classic Top Gun.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's what.
I almost said Maverick.
Yes.
Calkins, what did Calkins say? Lethal Weapon 2? How do you say Lethal Weapon 2 and not 1?
Yeah, exactly. One was.
Is Lethal Weapon 2 the one that they do the drive-through?
No, that's the one with the Australian ambassador.
No, she's not Australian. She's Austrian or South African. She's
South
hot.
African. South African, right? No, I'm talking more the ambassador.
Yeah, she dies though.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, that kind of pissed me off because she was really hot. Sub 60?
Top Gun. Top Gun.
Top Gun?
Yeah. Or Die Hard. I'll go Die Hard.
Legit question. Can Sub 60s be pilots?
No.
Why not?
No. I don't know how Tom Cruise flew it because he's not much taller than me.
He's 5'7", isn't he?
Yeah, he's a sub. Yeah, he's a what do we call him? Par 60s.
Yeah, what, I think Bill said that.
What AC Green called him par 60s.
Par 60s.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, they're hard. It's difficult.
Braveheart, yeah, those are damn good ones. Yeah, those are really good too. I go Christmas movie. I go what's it called? Die Hard. Let's skip best horror movies, best rom-coms. We got just a couple minutes left. Best rom-coms. This is my favorite. I'll start Fools Rush In. It's my favorite movie of all time. It's fantastic. It's so good. Sports Talk with Dad.
Rom-com. Either When Harry Met Sally or Sleepless in Seattle, because they talk about the Dirty Dozen, and you can cry at the Dirty Dozen.
Both movies are fantastic. When Harry Met Sally, very good. The great Conspiracy Theory. That's another good movie. I don't know if that's an action movie though. Gru, best rom-com. You know you love them.
I would say Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. That's a damn good one. I'll take that. Bill Geiser.
When Harry Met Sally.
It's a damn good movie. You know the scene where he's in the diner and she's doing the orgasm, and the woman that says, "Oh, that's Billy Crystal's mom."
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fun little bar trivia for you. Judge, what Highlander? Okay, I don't think I've seen that one. Greg Hannum. Judge, what's your favorite rom-com?
I have to go with Harry Met Sally too. I'll have what she's having.
Yeah. I'm shocked you've even seen that movie.
That was the last one I saw. I still have it.
They just back on Rudy is on a loop. Charles Schultz.
Princess Bride or Romancing the Stone?
Hold on. Number one, is Princess Bride a rom-com?
How's it not? It's a love story.
It's a love story, but first of all, I don't think you would have a rom-com with
laugh?
a giant in it.
Did you not laugh?
Yeah, so it's a comedy. I didn't want to make out with anyone.
Mostly that.
No, I'm not. I'll accept. What was the other one? It's not. It's a child's never-ending story movie. I'm not giving you that as a rom-com.
Get out of here.
Sports Talk with Dad. You're on the. Well, no, we don't have time. I was going to say that can't be a rom-com. That's got to be like a family kid movie.
It's not.
Yeah, raise your hand if you think Princess Bride is a damn rom-com. Oh no,
absolutely.
You're the only one raising your hand right now. Sub 60. Who's the winner tonight? We got to get out of here. We got a minute.
16 Candles.
That's not a rom-com. That's a comedy.
No, it's a rom-com. She's in love with her high school sweetheart.
No, you and Schultz, there's something wrong with you two. The whole left section of my TV.
Wait
a minute. 16 Candles is in fact a rom-com. Absolutely it is. So
Thank you. And Pretty in Pink. The judge gets it tonight because he agreed.
Yeah.
Yes, because he agreed.
Good job, Judge. And hey, Sports Talk with Dad. Where can they watch your show? What show do we have?
It will be coming out tomorrow morning, and it'll be on NGBN, I think, at 10 o'clock Central Time tomorrow morning.
All right, so 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. That'll be perfect. Everyone, thank you for watching. Make sure you share, subscribe, like, keep going. We'll keep posting on social media. Make sure you follow us. For all of us at Decades, everyone, cheers. Thanks for agreeing to do.
We are out.
Thanks for watching Decades on the NGBN.TV network. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on